Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's live with the Buzz with Busy Crochet. Today, we are going to be talking with Kelsey Emerson from the Knotting Shed. We are going to be learning all about her new crochet along that's coming up. It's super interesting, so I'm just super excited to tell you all about it. I'm going to bring her on camera now, so give me just a second. Hi, Kelsey, and welcome to today's live.
Hi, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you live in Austin, Texas, but tell me, how did you get there? Who taught you how to crochet? How long have you been doing it? That kind of stuff.
Sure. So I was actually born and raised in Seattle, Washington area. And I learned to crochet when I was probably like 5. My mom taught me all the like basic stitches, like chain single crochet, and we'd make little like washcloths together.
Yeah.
And then when I was in upper elementary school, we had like an after school class where volunteers came in and taught us how to crochet more. So I knew the foundation stitches, and there was a wonderful lady there that taught me how to like read patterns and just do a lot more stitches. So I actually, from like probably middle school on, was more advanced than my mom at crocheting. No slight to my mom, but yeah, I've been crocheting my whole life, so almost 30 years, give or take.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and I'm trying to convince my kids to do it, and they don't want to, but
Yeah, I mean, tell me how old your kids are again.
I have a 3-year-old son, so he's not ready yet, and a 7-year-old
Yeah.
daughter, but maybe in the next couple of years she'll want to do
I
it.
always thought that my kids would carry on my legacy, and neither one of them have ever been interested in it. So, oh well.
They can have their own.
But oh, and I just wanted to throw out, I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail what we're already talking about, but anybody that has any questions while Kelsey's talking, feel free to leave the questions in the comments, because I'm going to scroll back later during our Q&A area or time, and so that she can answer those questions that you have for her. I'm not going to stop her while she's talking. Just make sure you leave them in the comments. Alrighty, go ahead, Kelsey. I'm so sorry. So all right. So what was your first project? I mean, you said that you made dishcloths and stuff, but what was your first like really big project?
That's a good question. Probably blankets, like just like
Okay.
after, like a single stitch, like a double crochet or like a double crochet chain over and over and over again. And I would make them for everyone I knew, and I would give them away. Like I remember sitting in my dorm in college crocheting, and people would be like, "Why are you doing?" This is before crochet was like trendy for young people.
Yes. Before it was cool.
Yeah. No, I was doing it before it was cool. But yeah, no, I would like to. Mostly, I made things for gifts, and then probably like when my daughter was born, I think I really started doing it more as like a side gig kind of job, sort of. I'm a really big Disney fan. I don't.
Okay.
So I would make a lot of. I mean, don't tell them. I would make Disney like dolls or amigurumi or little baby things to give as gifts, or people started requesting things from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would freehand just anything. For a while, I was even taking like kids' sketches, like their drawings of like a little character or a monster, and I would turn that into a stuffed doll. I have a couple from my kids that are really cute.
That is a fabulous idea. That's really fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's challenging, but there's like not a right or wrong way how to. That's actually a really good way to like learn crochet design, is just figuring out how to piece together something. Like anytime anyone asks me that, like, how do you do that? I'd be like, well, think about like a 3D printer, like starting from the bottom and building it up. Like, where do you need to add pieces? So yeah, I've been crocheting my whole life, and every few years it seems like I shift gears. Like now I'm really into making like mandalas, like big wall hangings, and I don't know, it's more like whatever floats my boat, and seems like
But I think that's a really good way to actually, go through your crochet journeys, because a lot of, some of us, like, all we ever want to do is amigurumi. Some of us, all we ever want to do is sweaters and things like that. And some people, they only want to do blankets. But I think that having the chance to try other things, it just broadens your crochet mind. You know what I mean? So like you can look at a project and say, yes, I really, really want to do that, because I think I understand the construction of that. And when you were talking about, making amigurumis and stuff, and designing it, once you get the basic concepts of like increasing and the decreasing and how that shaping works.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to just sit down and fool around.
Yeah, you can make anything. You just it's like a basic painting lessons, right? They tell you like look for the shapes. Like you don't have to know how to draw.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to draw an oval and then add a triangle to. It's kind of the same idea. But.
Absolutely. So, okay, so tell me what brought you to the idea of using a create your own type of adventure as a like a blanket.
Yeah. So I guess I'll explain what it is too. So my upcoming project it includes a short story. So it's like a 50-page, give or take, short story that is written like those choose your own adventure novels. So like,
did you write that as well?
Yes, I wrote the story that goes with it too.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So I'm really big into like, I used to write murder mystery games too, like for friends and stuff. So that was another hobby. So really what this I started joining all these like alternative crochet fan pages kind of, or like groups. And it was a lot of like people posting like really cool monster things or sci-fi or all these like not a traditional sweater.
Sure.
One of them is like not your grandma's crochet, not to like shout at another crochet, but it's not like doilies and sweaters. So I was like, oh, how can I combine the things that I really love, which is like murder mystery novels. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, like yeah. So I was like, how can I put all of these things together into my like true hobby, which is crochet? And that I really don't know where the idea came from, to be honest. But one night I was just sitting there, I was like, oh yeah, that would be totally not easy to do, but like in my brain, I was like, that would be easy to do. Like take, steps in a journey and you just have to, so to give it away a little bit, we're making a round object in our crochet along. You just have to have the same starting number of stitches for each round. It doesn't matter what goes in between really, as long as it lays flat or it does what it wants you to do. You can put any bits of pattern into that. And then at the end, like say you need to have 234 stitches. Well, I can math that and like tweak it and add a few increases or decreases to make it make sense.
Sure.
It's kind of a challenge. This is my first time doing a project like this. And I was telling you earlier, it's been like 6 months of work.
Yeah,
but it's really fun.
They're no joke.
You should see my notes. I look like a psychopath. Like I have like just scribbles of numbers and like I cross out numbers and it just looks insane, but it's coming together.
They probably all look like crazy Einstein drawings,
Yeah. Well, I'll start with a sketch too. So say like for how it works into the story is, say for example, I don't know, you're going to run into, I'm looking around my room. You're going to run into, I don't have anything here, a koala, right? There's a picture of a koala.
Okay.
And so then in that story, like you have all these interactions with that animal, you got there, you had to go down a pathway, whatever it is. Then on my end, I'm actually like sketching out, like, how am I going to make this stitch work create a koala? So then when you're done with this project, ideally you should be able to go from the center out, like outwards, and actually like read your journey of like, what
that's cool
you made. So you can remember like, oh, I remember I took the path with the clowns, or there's no clowns in my story, or whatever. Or I could have taken the pathway with like the giant spiders, but you can read it and then you can redo it too. So you can do the same story again. It'll still be the same story, but if you choose different options, different bits of the narrative, and you'll get a totally different pattern,
different outcome. Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that idea. I love the fact that it allows you the opportunity to be really creative. And, I took your the test.
Yeah.
And I am a Team Violet myself, which really kind of struck me funny because I am not usually driven towards purples. I always think of myself as more of like a corals and aquas kind of person.
Yeah.
But all of my answers were violet. And then when I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, I could totally see myself doing a really rich purple blanket. We have a 3-year-old in the background, right?
I don't know what's wrong. My son's alone, so I run off the camera.
Mom,
there's an ant in our house.
Find me.
Honey, I'm on the camera. Just
It's
ignore
okay.
the ant.
We love babies.
Don't put that in your mouth. Okay.
Don't eat the ant.
I can't get the ant, honey. You're brave. I gotta keep talking to my friends. Sorry.
You're fine. Life happens.
Yeah, there's an ant in our house. We live in Texas, so it might be a fire ant. We're always scared.
Oh man,
it's not a fire
ant. Ran into a fire ant. Was in Florida. Holy cow!
Honey, I can't. Can you go grab the iPad again?
What is this?
Shh. Goodbye.
What?
Let me walk him out of here.
You're fine.
Sorry.
We have a small pause while we're taking care of a 3-year-old. Thanks for sticking with us. I thought it was going to be me and my little dog with noise in the background, but you know what? Life happens, and that is just the way it is. Thanks for sticking with us, though.
Yes, go grab a snack. I'm so sorry.
You were perfectly fine.
Crisis averted. It was an ant. Everybody's really scared.
So did you discover if it was a fire or a carpenter?
No, it went away. There was no ant. I think it was
okay.
Or it went under the couch. Anyways, I forgot exactly what we were talking about. I'm so sorry.
We were talking about the create your own adventure. Let's see. You were talking
about your character, the character guide, right?
Oh yeah, Violet.
Yeah.
But I can totally see how that would make a really pretty blanket going from like a really light violet out into a really deep eggplant. Oh, that'd be really nice.
Yeah. So, and for anyone that's confused on what that is, in our yarn guide, I've left everything very freeform. So I don't want to be like, you need 8 skeins of white and 4 skeins of red. Like, I don't want to do that because it's a mystery. Like, I want you to make it however you want to, like whatever colorways really like speak to you or whatever. But I also challenged people optionally. There's a character quiz, and your main character is your yarn. So like, that's the idea behind it. Your main character is your yarn because you're telling a story surrounding this thing, and in yarn or in crochet it would be yarn. In a story, it's our main character who's this female journalist who's researching something. So there was a couple different options on characters, and obviously if you don't like that idea or you're like, I absolutely won't make something that's purple, you can do however you want to. It's just for fun.
Sure.
Yes, come here. He's back with a snack. And then you can't come back in here. Sorry.
I will.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Shut the door. Thanks for being so patient about that.
No worries at all. No, I'm just waiting for grandbabies. I want to be able to do that.
Yeah. So I have, and we can keep going through questions too if you would rather, but I could read out the character guide, or I could read out parts.
No, I definitely want you to talk about your crochet along, because really that's what we're here for. We want to know all about that, because I feel like it's such an interesting concept, and I've not seen it done anywhere. I mean, the closest I've come is my crochet alongs. I do this similar to you, where I create a story with my blanket, but I don't give, the first time that I ever gave people the real chance to do any kind of like, I want to choose what I'm doing, was this last year. We did gingerbread house blankets where you got to choose 4 optional patterns. So it wasn't quite the same as yours, where like you're really, really choosing where you want to go with the pattern and what you're going to do with the story. And I love that idea. It's very high concept to me. And I love the fact that you wrote the story too, because I like writing, but I don't have enough confidence in myself that I would be able to create a full it's okay, he's fine. A full concept story.
Watch a show and do not come in here. I'm going to lock the door. Goodbye.
You're fine.
What's your number?
3656. Or bring it to me. He wants the iPad. If you want to break into my iPad, that's the computer code.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. Okay, well, let's read some of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is destroying this interview. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it in my
mom life hashtag.
Where is my files? There it is. Do you want to do the questionnaire, or I could read one of the story sections?
Yeah, let's do the questionnaire so that people get an idea of kind of the things that you'll be asking, and I think it just gives kind of an insight to what you're doing.
Kind of just a fun, easy quiz. I've also tried to, I didn't mention this too, but I'm incorporating a lot of like puzzle elements into the pattern. So there's like
Fun.
codes that are literally crocheted into it that you have to then decode at a later time. There are like sometimes I don't want to, it's hard to explain without giving away. There'll be clues that are in your pattern that you will make and you will see for a while, but then it'll come back to it in the story later, like how you use that clue.
I love that idea. That is so cool.
Kind of. So it's a little bit like room escapey. It's not super complex. It's definitely accessible for people. Like you don't have to have done lots of room escapes or any murder mystery game.
I don't do well with like word puzzles. People who can look at stuff and be like, oh yeah, that says bottom over top or whatever.
No, it's not anything like that. It's simple like letter ciphers and things like that. But it'll be pretty cool. So that's not this, but I've tried to like just clue that's coming a little bit with our yarn character quiz. So this ultimately should tell you like what colors you might want to use in your pattern. So I'll just read through it. So how it works, it's very like teen magazine style where I'm going to read, I think there's 14 or 15 questions, and then you choose A, B, C, or D, and then you tally them up as we're going, and then you add them up, and whatever your most common answer is, then it'll spit out a character for you. So yeah, we'll get started. So my closest friends would describe me as A, intelligent, B, adventurous, C, driven, or D, kind. If I
will do this with you.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna do it? Okay, see if you get Violet again. Okay, number 2, if I wrote a book, it would be a historical fiction. Sorry, that was A, historical fiction, B, fantasy, C, thriller, or D, romance. Number 3, I'm most productive. A, first thing in the morning, B, in the early afternoon, C, around dinner time, or D, late at night. And the next one is, it's most important that I'm A, happy with my life choices, B, respected by my peers, C, successful in my personal and professional life, or D, supported by the people around me. My favorite season is A, winter, B, spring, C, summer, or D, fall. The animal I relate most to is A, octopus, B, cheetah, C, bear, or D, dog. My dream house is an A, beach house on the coast, B, farmhouse in the country, C, penthouse in the city, or D, cozy cottage in a small town.
What if you have 2?
You can mark both, and then that could be a tiebreaker or something. I don't know. The next question says, my favorite scents are A, relaxing scents like lavender or chamomile, B, fresh scents like fresh scents like lemon or grass, C, warm scents like vanilla or nutmeg, or D, floral scents like jasmine or rose. My ideal partner is A, smart and responsible, B, funny and engaging, C, strong and motivated, or D, sensitive and sweet. My perfect vacation is A, on a tropical island near the beach, B, in a cabin surrounded by forest, C, exploring a new bustling city, or D, skiing in the mountains. If I had superpowers, I'd want A, super strength, B, healing powers, C, flight, or D, mind reading. I'm most happy spending time with A, my family, B, myself, C, my friends, or D, animals. I am most at peace, A, near water, B, in nature, C, in my bed, or D, with my loved ones. And my favorite weather is A, cold and snowy, B, cloudy and rainy, C, hot and sunny, or D, stormy. So then you're going to tally up all your answers. And if you have a tie between 2 or 3, then I have a tiebreaker question. So eliminate the questions that weren't in the tie. And then there's one last question. It says, my favorite gem is A, sapphire, B, emerald, C, ruby, or D, amethyst.
I am solidly a D.
Okay. I think that was your answer before then, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to flip my phone upside down and not let it go the wrong way. All right, so it says, if you answered mostly A, your character is Azure Wells, a serene and mysterious artist. Azure is a free spirit, rarely tied down by life's responsibilities. She enjoys an introverted lifestyle, writing in her journal, doing yoga in the park, and spending time with her cat. She is most at peace in nature, especially near the ocean. And it says, your project should be completed in shades of blue or teal. Then if you answered mostly B, your character is Olive Benton, an energetic and curious explorer. Olive graduated magna cum laude from university and prides herself on her quick thinking and problem-solving skills. She loves to travel and explore new cultures, cuisine, and environments. You'll rarely find Olive without her camera, as she loves to document her life through photography. Your project should be completed in shades of green or yellow. And then if you answered mostly C, your character is Scarlett Roth, a fiery and fiercely independent leader. Never afraid to speak her mind, Scarlett demands respect in all areas of her life. She does everything with intense passion, working hard to make her dreams come true. She loves to cook, enjoys going wine tasting with friends, and spends at least an hour every night reading before bed. True crime, of course. Your project should be completed in shades of red or orange. And then if you answered mostly D, which is yours, your character is Violet Corcoran, a charming and thoughtful dreamer. Violet is a friend to all and was voted most likely to make you smile in her high school yearbook. Often lost in her own thoughts, Violet is prone to daydreaming and frequently loses track of time. She is quirky and fiercely loyal. Your project should be completed in shades of purple or pink. And then, of course, if none of those sound like you're whoever you want to be, and you can use whatever color.
True. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to definitely do one in my Team Violet just to stay on story and be part of the group and stuff like that. But I can see where you could really get very creative and do different color schemes and really play with it,
Yeah.
I'm very interested in seeing the ombre look going outward. I can just imagine that's because like the grandfather section that you have and that one little clip that you have in your picture, that's very interesting. And I think that it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, that's what most of the design is, like textural elements. So like
I love texture.
Popping up to make an image or down to like be in relief. So to get like some of it's a little bit, what's the word? It's not super abstract. Most of it is very literal. Like if you're making, for example, the grandfather clock, you will see the Roman numeral numbers.
Sure.
Throughout the round. I think it looks pretty cool.
I like abstract ideas though, because they're very of course, you can do a Disney princess blanket where what Disney princess it is. I like doing stuff where you've got to look at it and go, oh yeah, I can see that in the stitches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like stuff that makes me think.
Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely a combo of both. So it's not always quite incredibly literal. A lot of it is, but I think it makes it fun. And then it's a lot of like repeating elements. So like if you're making, I don't know, name anything. Like I keep saying spider. If you're making a spider, there might be like 10 spiders around the ring that you're making around. But then that number
a repeating pattern.
It's going to be important later, if that makes it,
So like you're doing stuff really intentional as far as like, if I'm telling you that and we're just using the spider example, if I'm telling you that there's 10 spiders, there's a reason that there's 10 spiders.
Yes. So like later in the story, that number 10 might be like a clue for your next step. Or like if you have a cipher and you need to like decode it to a certain level, 10 is going to be like the key to getting that or something like that.
It works. Looking for hidden clues. That's a fun thing.
Yeah.
So you said that you used to write for
I used to write murder mystery games.
Thank you. There's a company called Hunt a Killer. I don't know if you're familiar with them at all.
Yeah. I didn't write for them. I wrote for myself, but
that's cool though. But that's the only thing I've ever done like that. And that I've only ever done like one box kit, and that was so much fun.
Yeah. Ours would be like immersive like get dressed up in character, and you get a little like character bio background, and then you have like certain people you need to talk to at certain point. It's very, very, that's more complex than this, but I took a lot of
way more, but sounds way more fun. I just love the idea of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that you still do, or
no, I still have all the files. That was like a passion project that I thought would turn into something, and then I get distracted. Like I said, I changed my hobby of the year changes pretty regularly. But I did do those parties with like a bunch of friends and tested it out with a bunch of different people and stuff, and they're always fun, very different depending on who you're doing it with.
So, and I also noticed in your group that you have begun doing some videos for Stitch.
Yes, so I have one big Stitch tutorial up there, and it's so for anybody that's interested in this project, I am not going to be doing video tutorials because it would just be hours and hours and hours, because I think there's 16 total pattern parts for 9 rounds. So it would just be me talking to you, crocheting for hours and hours. It wouldn't be entertaining. It wouldn't be that helpful. So instead, what I've done is
I understand. I do them for my blankets.
Yeah, I filmed one master video that instead of doing a full Stitch tutorial, it's more like a Stitch guide. So I use standard terminology, but I format my stitches in a way where I'm not going to name something like the back loop double sass. That's confusing. So instead I have broken it down where it's just the key elements. It's like the number, the stitch, the placement, and what you do with it. Son's yelling again. Yes? 3656. Bring it to me, please. Bring it in here. Ignore him. Jack, bring me the iPad. Bring it to me. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Here's the second guest for you.
Okay, so while we're waiting for him to bring the thing to you, you said that you also have, when you and I were talking earlier, that you do have some other crochet patterns. Is there anything that we can look for?
I don't have anything that's like this project. I do have just a very small amount put on Etsy and Ravelry, and they're both under my shop name, which is Knotting Shed, like KNOT. So it's a play on potting shed.
I like that idea. That's fun.
Yeah, I was for a long time very interested in making crochet flat. I was going to make a whole garden of flat. I've shifted, but again, that's where the name came from.
Hey, that's what we do.
Yeah,
I have a tendency to do the same thing. I have delusions of grandeur, and I'm like, ooh, this project's just gonna. This is it. And then like about 2 weeks into it, it's like, oh my god, this is a slog. So I just want to do something different. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to open it up. If you guys have any questions for Kelsey, I do see a few people have said hello. PJ Adams has said hello. Lana Coker, she said that I'm just going to quick throw these up there. Hello, Busy. She's a friend from several of my cows on my business page. Lana, it looks like she's tapping in from YouTube. She was saying that it skips a generation when we were talking about our children. Yes, and Yardwork says, I'm new on your channel. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, anybody, for Kelsey pertaining to her crochet along, can you tell us specifically where to find you on Facebook?
Yeah, so I have a page up that's new, but you can find me. I'm on Facebook. It's the Knotting Shed, and then it's like a hyphen crochet your own adventure crochet alongs, because I am planning on making this idea a whole series, because it's really unlimited. If I write a story, I could write a pattern about it. So you can find me on Facebook there. From there, we have a private group that is dedicated for this crochet along, and it's like tons of people are in it. It's really great, super helpful already. Where you can post pictures and get pattern help. That one is private until you have paid to register. So my pattern is $12. You can request to join at any time. Make sure you put your it has a membership questions. Please make sure you put your email address in there so I know how to contact you, or you can contact me through email or Facebook Messenger. And I'll send you links on how to submit payment. But I'm on Etsy. This crochet along is on Etsy now. It will be on Ravelry when we're done with everything. It'll be merged into one master file. So you can do this at any time. You don't have to participate in the crochet along while we're actively doing it. It's 9 weeks with 9 chapters. But if you want to join in, you say in a month, you can hop into the group, or if you want to wait until it's all done and get the whole thing all at once, you can do that too.
So we do have a question from Yarnworks by Lydia, and it says, does she have a YouTube channel? Can you tell us a little bit about your social media?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel that is brand new. I'm just figuring out how to use it because that's where I posted my stitch tutorial, and that is also called The Knotting Shed. Yeah, I think it's just The Knotting Shed, and it has like a series of numbers. I don't know how to change it, so but I am on there. I can
help you with that later.
If you search The Knotting Shed, or if you search the Rosewood Manor Mystery Crochet Along, it should pop up, and I have links to everything. All of my social media has links to everything else, so you can find me there. Or email me and I can send you all the links. It's Knotting Shed, one word. There's no the. It's KNOTTING shed@gmail.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We have one more question here. It says, are the characters in the story based on people you know or family members?
That's a good question. Not exactly. So technically the main character is the same character no matter what. But I take different personality types and really match those up with a color for you guys. There are other characters that you meet in the story, and especially when I'm writing dialogue, like people talking to each other, I do have people in my mind, and they're not people that I know personally necessarily, but sometimes I'll think of like a TV character that I really like, or characters from other books. Like I will like
you can give influence from
a celebrity, probably. Like I'll give it that person's voice, or they have in my head, I'm writing it with them having an accent or something.
Sure.
But I think about like how they speak in the like little quirks and things of how they speak. So yeah, I do usually have somebody in mind, like when I'm writing something.
That makes sense, because you've heard of people talking about, oh, well this particular role was written for somebody, and I mean, that makes a lot of sense that character, that person is in your mind when you're writing these things out. So absolutely. We're still waiting on anybody else with any other questions, but I did want to give you an opportunity to share. Just putting the Knotting Shed out there. I know that you said that you're not heavily into creating a lot of patterns at this point, and you're really looking more towards going towards the cows and stuff like that. But like, speak specifically to what can people expect from you as a designer?
Yeah. So generally speaking, I'm writing advanced patterns for experienced crocheters. I like big, complex projects that you can really like focus in on and take a good chunk of your life and work on. So I know that's not for everyone, but it's not like if you're me, you hyperfixate on stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I want them to be engaging, and I want them to be really surprising. Like I have challenged people that are joining the crochet along. If you do feel confident in your crocheting and your pattern reading, I'm like, don't look at, I have 2 pattern versions of everything. One that includes photos and one that's just text. I'm like, don't look at the one with photos, like be surprised while you're making it. And like, for example, that spider that we're making up, pretending that it's in the pattern, you're making a leg, but you don't know what it is yet until you get like 6 or 8 rows up and they're like, it's a spider. Like I want that.
That's a great idea.
People that are like me, that have been crocheting for so long, that it's kind of, I mean, not, there is an infinite world of crochet possibilities, but it's hard to find something that is surprising, I think, or I don't know. I just wanted something like thrilling in crochet, and it's not, crochet often isn't thrilling. It's supposed to be relaxing, right? So I want to combine a relaxing hobby with something that excites people, like do. I don't know. But I do.
I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I do plan on making a series of these. similar to how, I don't know if everyone's familiar with the Choose Your Own Adventure books, but each one has like a setting and like a problem. So it'll be, we're not going to go back to Rosewood Manor, but I do want to do more and like have different themes. So like I already have like little ideas, like doing like a Western one, or like doing, I have all these ideas, like different places in the world, different problems, different characters, and taking inspiration from other mysteries that I enjoy, bringing it into the crafting world, I guess.
Absolutely. It sounds very interesting. We do have one more question here. The people participating in this cal come from all over the world. Do you plan to release your patterns in different languages in the future?
That is a good question. I don't, but that's not to say that it's impossible. Because it has a story to it, it would require me having like translators for me with very in-depth knowledge of both crochet and English and whatever language they would be translating it to. Obviously I'm open to that idea. I don't think I can take that on because our documents are big. They're like, I have 50 pages of just text, and then there's another 16 files of pattern. So possible, but for now it's just in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it does take a special group of people. I know that there are certain designers out there that have stuff available in several different languages, but you have to have people that you know and trust that can take that and interpret that for you.
Someone out there, so I was gonna say, if someone out there is a translator and really wants to like tackle that, more power to you. I will happily pass along all my stuff and you can work on it for me. But that is not something I can do myself, if that answers that question.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. There was a question that came up, but it went flying away. I should have written it down. It's okay. Alrighty. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions coming through at this time. And we've been talking for almost 40 minutes. So if there's anything that you would like to say to just let people know any more information, where they can find you, or if we've skipped over anything that you need to talk about, let us know.
Yeah. So if you want to find me, if you want to do this, I really encourage you to go on to Facebook, find me, Kelsey Emerson, or find my page, The Nodding Shed, or find our crochet along. And please add your email or like some contact information, because I know when I message everyone on Facebook, it sometimes goes to like your mystery folder. So I can give you all that information, but you might not see it. So make sure you're giving me a way to contact you. I would love to have more members. We have probably like 670 people doing it at this point, but
it's going to be a raucous party. That's what you're saying.
I have no limits, really. So
absolutely, no. The more the merrier, for sure.
I think the more people we have doing, and we do have people to speak to the people we have people from all over the world participating, because I can see like on the back end of Facebook, you can see like where people are. People in the UK, people in Australia, people I think in almost every continent, honestly.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's going to be really fun.
And that's what makes it really, really fun, is when you can have an international group come together and they're just all working together on the same project. It's so much more fun.
Yeah. Oh, and I should say we're starting tomorrow. But
that's right.
You can join at any time. So our first files are going out tomorrow, Wednesday at about noon. I think I'm going to shoot the email out at noon Central Time, so where I am in Texas.
Yoki is part of our Cal Crochet Along group. She says she's really looking forward to this Cal, and she sends her greetings to you. And she's in Belgium, so you really do have people from all over the world joining this.
And the time zones are all confusing. I'm like, it's Wednesday, the 18th, US.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, it's hard when you get having international people. I got to the point during my Cal in November, was that like everything that I wrote down, I just had this list of numbers and times for all the different time zones, so that, because otherwise you get the questions.
sleep, so I'll answer your questions at 2 a.m. my time. It'll probably be like afternoon. My kids are awake at all hours.
Yeah, but don't do it just because she can. She's still a mom of 2 young kids, so
Yeah.
make sure that we respect her time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, so it was super wonderful meeting you, Kelsey, and I'm very excited to participate in your crochet along. And I hope that you get a lot of people involved in this. I know, excuse me, certain people in my life are absolutely stoked about being a part of this. So we're junkies for very fun and different.
Good.
So I wish you the absolute best.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and give big snuggles to your 3-year-old.
I think
He's
that
waited and been so patient.
I haven't heard about the ant or the iPad in a while, so I think he's settled.
But we all know your password. You might want to change that.
Oh yeah.
All right. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining us, Kelsey.
Okay. Thank you. Bye,
You
everybody.
betcha. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Buzz with Busy Crochet. I hope that you've enjoyed today's interview with Kelsey Emerson from the Knotting Shed. Make sure that you hit her up and join her Cal. It's going to be a wonderful experience for all of us. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you at the next one.